Hello and welcome to our last yoga practice of our video series, our Summer Fit Challenge. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to grab my blocks. So if you need any kind of props today, which I will always give you the option for props to use assistance, pillows, blankets, yoga blocks work really well. If you don't have yoga blocks, grab a pillow or a blanket if you think you'll be interested in using those. Just have them seated by the side of your mat. You won't need them right away. But go ahead and come up to a kneeling position. We're going to start here for our morning or opening meditation. And this is actually a good place to use the props. You can place the block right under both sits bones, so you feel grounded and supported, but we're just a little elevated, especially if you've got any knee issues or ankle issues going on. And you can make it even higher with 2 blocks. So just find your comfortable positioning. And then when you're ready to settle in, go ahead and close your eyes. Softening through the breath. And letting that gentle, warm inhale soften any tightness you may feel throughout your body. Just giving your body a quick little scan, starting with the face. Relax the eyebrows. Relax the jaw muscles. Separate the teeth so the tongue is just gently between the teeth and we're not clenching our jaw. Pull the shoulders down and away from the ears. Softness through the torso, the belly. The hips just resting with gravity. The quad muscles, the ankles and the feet. All just gently resting and feeling supported by your mat, by the earth. Just noticing how you feel today. Have you just woken up? The first thing you're doing today. What a wonderful way to start your day. Set the tone of mindfulness, centeredness, and peacefulness. Maybe you've already had quite a day. And this is going to help ground you, bringing yourself back in from the momentum of your busy day. Maybe this practice is at the end of your day, winding down, settling in for the night, shedding the stress of the day, and relaxing into a beautiful self-care routine. So as we notice our breath, not trying to change it just yet, just noticing it. What emotions come up? If you've still got that monkey mind, that to-do list going on in your head, Just gently redirect your thoughts back to your breath. Now together, just deepening our breath, lengthening the inhale, feeling the lungs expand and fill the side body. Fueling every cell in our body. That life-giving prana, the life force, our breath. And then deeply exhaling. Through the nostrils, or maybe through the mouth. Carrying out any anxiety or tension we feel in our body. Cultivating that sacred space. And now let's take some deep cleansing breaths together. Taking a lion's breath. So taking a deep inhale through the nostrils, and then we're going to sigh it out as we extend our tongue, dropping the tongue out of the mouth. Really pushing as much air out as we can. So take a couple natural breaths. And when you're ready, deep, deep inhale, fill the nostrils. Exhale, lion's breath, sigh it out. Really stick that tongue out. You might even feel some vibration through the back of the throat. Really encouraging you to push all of the breath out as much as you can. We're going to take 2 more just like that. Deep inhale. Deep lion's breath. So a little more forceful than just a sigh out of the mouth. It's a lot of fun, especially if no one's looking at you. No one's looking at you, I promise. Deep inhale. Lion's breath, sigh it out. Beautiful. So we're just rejuvenating that life force, pushing all of that stagnant air out. And it should feel really revitalizing. Then when you're ready, just blinking your eyes open, finding some movement through the wrists, still sitting up nice and tall. And if you need to change positions, that's totally fine. And we're just gonna flex the palm, the right palm forward. So palm facing forward, fingertips towards the ground. Just stretching through the wrists. And then switching hands, left palm, stretching forward. And then bringing it back to that right palm, turning the top of the hand, facing forward, fingertips down, stretching through the top of the wrist. And then switching hands, fingertips down. Beautiful. And then we're going to take some shoulder circles. So deep inhale as we lift the shoulders to the ears. Exhale, roll it down the back. Deep inhale. You might even start to find a little bit of spinal movement or a little bit of a spinal wave. That's totally fine. Do what feels right. Do what feels good. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. And let's reverse that direction. So inhale, scoop the arms up to the shoulders to the back, and then rounding forward. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Full range of motion. One more. And exhale. Good. We're going to remove that block or blanket or pillow from out beneath the legs. Rock it forward onto your hands and then just pitter patter your toes out, waking up the ankles a little bit, bringing some life back in there. And then we're going to tuck the toes, shift back, and maybe even sitting all the way up. So like a hero's pose. That feels okay. If that doesn't feel okay, just come forward onto your hands and you're still able to push some resistance. So we're still stretching through the bottom of the legs, but it's not quite as intense as if you were sitting up nice and tall. So just holding here for 3 breath cycles, giving some love to the bottoms of the feet. Connecting to that deep breath. Good, and then shifting forward, back on our hands. Release those toes, pitter patter, out to the side. Good. Then we're gonna come into our tabletop position. So hands right under the shoulders, knees right under the hips. Let's find some movement side to side. Just working into those hips, releasing some of those lower back muscles. And we're gonna take some cat-cows. Inhale, scoop the belly. Look up as we fill the belly, the diaphragm, the lungs, and then exhale, tuck the chin to the chest, rounding under. Cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. One more. Exhale, cat pose. Moving with the breath. Yeah, then we're going to find some deeper movement. So shifting back, almost like we're going to child's pose, and then shifting forward over our wrist as we take a nice big circle. So just circling whatever direction feels right. Stirring it up, waking up the hips, the spine, the wrists. Going for as full of a range of motion as you can. And then reversing that direction. Shift it back. Wonderful. When you're ready, find some stillness. And we're going to bring that right foot out to the side. So off the mat, nice wide stance. And we're just going to find some movement, shifting right and left, so laterally, into that hip, and then away from the hip, maybe even straightening the leg. Deep, deep hip opener. In and away. Good. Then taking some circles, stirring up that hip, noticing what comes up. So if you feel any sticky parts, go a little slower. And reversing that direction. Then we're going to straighten that leg out and then come down to the elbows. So my right foot is flat on the floor. If you can get your foot there, that is wonderful, because then we're getting a little deeper stretch on the outer ankle, the outer foot. If not, that's okay. Just work with what you got, but meet your body where it's at. Then we're going to shift forward and backward here. Still working on opening up the hip, the inner thigh, the adductor muscles. They can tend to get really sore. A lot of work happens if you're doing a leg workout. Those adductor muscles are big stabilizer muscles, and mine always get really sore, the inner thighs. Good, and then find stillness. Now we're going to plant our right hand, open up through the left hand, inhale, and then exhale, thread that left arm underneath the right arm.
maybe walking those right fingertips out. So now we're kind of in this thread the needle variation with our right leg extended and our left arm sweep under and through, stretching through the shoulder, the upper back, connecting to your breath. One more deep inhale. Deep exhale, and then plant the right hand. Bring the left arm just as we came. Sweep it up to the ceiling. Exhale, plant the left hand and bring that right leg in, back into tabletop. Now we're gonna activate those outer glute muscles on the right leg. So lift and hold for 4, 3, 2, and rest. Then we're gonna go to the back. So flexing through the foot, lifting the knee as high as the hip. 4, 3, 2, and lower. We're gonna do that again. So lifting to the side, waking up the glute medius muscle. 4, 3, 2, and lower. Lifting to the ceiling. Pull the navel to the spine. 3, 2, and lower. One last time. Building some heat. 4, 3, 2, and lower. Lifting to the ceiling. 4, 3, 2, and lower. Good. Coming back, toes together, knees wide. Reaching back into your child's pose just to release that lower back. Connecting back to a deep breath here. And then when you're ready, coming back up to our tabletop. One more move on our right side. We're going to take that knee up in big circles all the way around. So connecting to your core and then also working the glute muscles. And reverse that direction. Good. Release the knee to the floor. Coming back to our hero's pose. We're going to swim the arms back around behind us, clasping the fists together, so palms facing each other, reaching the palms down towards the floor, straightening through the arms if we can, and then shining that heart toward the ceiling. Connecting to the breath. Maybe releasing that head back if that feels good, coming into a little back bend. Make sure your neck feels supported. One more deep breath cycle. On your exhale, release that bind. And coming back forward into our tabletop. All right, I'm just gonna flip around here so you can see me better. But we're going to stick that left leg straight out. And we're going to find our circles. Or actually, first, we're going left to right. So bending into the hip as much as you can, bending through that left knee, and then straightening out through the leg as we come back towards the right. Good. Now we're going to find our circles. So shifting forward and backward, as deep of a range of motion as you can manage. Find what feels good. Working into that hip and then reverse directions. Notice how it may feel different from side to side. One hip may certainly feel stickier than the other. Then we're going to find stillness, come down to our elbows, and shifting forward and backward, deepening that inner thigh stretch.
trying to connect to your core here too. So we're in this asymmetric position, but I don't want you to let your belly just be completely lax. So pull that navel up and in. Cultivate some core integration here, supporting the lower back. And when you're ready, we're going to plant that left hand. Sweep that right arm up to the ceiling. Inhale, and then exhale. Thread the needle. Right arm goes through and underneath that left arm. Bringing our head, ear, and shoulder on the right side down to the mat. Holding here, maybe crawling those left fingertips forward, lengthening through the left shoulder and the left back muscles. One more deep breath. And when you're ready, plant that left hand, coming back the same way we came. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. Exhale, plant the hand. Bring the knee back to center. And we're gonna create some fire here. So inhale, lifting the left knee up to hip height for 4, 3, 2, and lower. Good. And we're gonna flex that foot, lifting the leg to the back, knee to hip height, pulling that navel to the spine. 4, 3, 2, and lower. Good. Coming back up to the side. 3, 2, and lower. Beautiful. Left leg lifts to the back. Core is engaged. 3, 2, and lower. One more set to the side. Hold. This is core and glutes. Notice where you feel it. Squeeze. 3, 2, and rest. Good. Touching the toes, reaching the knees wide towards the edge of the mat. Sink back into your child's pose. Good. And then coming forward back into our tabletop. We're going to take those big hip circles, big juicy hip circles. So as big of a range of motion as you can go, keeping the knee bent. Still connected with our core. Reverse that direction when you're ready. Beautiful. Release that left knee to the floor. Sitting back into our hero's pose. Sit up nice and tall. This time, I'm just going to turn and face you. Sweeping both arms up overhead. Right fingertips grab the left wrist. Find length. Inhale. And then exhale, bending to the right. Holding here. Trying not to collapse forward, but keeping that chest and heart nice and open. One more deep breath. And then inhaling, reaching up through center, switching the grip, so left fingertips grab the right wrist, up and over. Inhale, coming back up through center, reach nice and tall, reaching through the fingertips. Exhale, float the hands back down to the floor. All right, now we're just gonna plant our hands, tap our toes, and shift our hips back to the ceiling, coming into our first downward facing dog of the day.
And as always, we know that first downward facing dog maybe requires some movement, some pedaling out to get that synovial fluid juiced up through the joints. Waking up, saying hello to the back of the legs, the hamstrings and the calves. Finding what feels good. When you're ready, find stillness. Just gonna come up nice and high up onto the toes, lifting both heels, and then dropping both heels, turning the heels to the right side of the mat, toes to the left side of the mat. So we're in this twisted position. Holding for a breath here. And then on your next inhale, toes back up through center, heels lift, pressing, pressing, pressing through the balls of the feet. Exhale, heels release to the left side of the mat, toes to the right side of the mat. So just getting a little deeper stretch on the outside of each hip. And inhale, coming back through center, reaching those heels towards the floor. Inhale, sweep the right leg up, three-legged dog, holding here for a breath, keeping the hips square to the earth. Exhale, release to the floor. Inhale, sweep the left leg up. Hips square to the earth. And we're only coming about hip height with that leg. Don't need to force it. Exhale, release to the earth, and then we're gonna step that leg all the way through, coming into our low lunge. Sitting up nice and tall, hands coming up to the left quad, pushing the hips forward. You can untuck that back toe or keep it tucked for a little more stability, up to you. Then we're gonna frame that right foot, or that left foot. I don't know my left or my right. And then plant your right hand, twisting left arm to ceiling. So you can keep the back leg down and grounded, and maybe that feels good in that left hip, good enough. Or if you want a little bit more, lift that back leg off the ground, twist, and breathe here. One more deep inhale. And on your exhale, float the left hand down to the floor. We're gonna open up to the side of our mat, that long edge of our mat, flexing through that right foot. So all the weight, most of our weight is shifted over to our left side. Trying to keep that left heel grounded, in contact with the earth. If it's not, that's okay. Then we're gonna shift, walk our hands, little spider crawl, all the way over to the other side. Grounding through the right heel. Real deep hip opener here. Inhale, spider crawl all the way to the other side, and then rotating, framing the foot, planting the hands, stepping the foot back, downward facing dog. Breathing deeply here. Reaching the heels towards the floor. And then inhale, sweep that left leg up, three-legged dog. And lower. Inhale, sweep right leg up, three-legged dog. And then looking towards the front of our mat, step that right foot through between both hands. Gently drop the back knee, untuck the toes if you like. Sit up nice and tall. Hands supported on the right quad. Feeling a deep stretch to that left side, front of the hip, the quad, the hip flexors. And then planting the left hand, opening up to the right side of the room. And maybe tucking the left toes, lifting the left knee off the ground. For a little revolved runner's lunge. Holding here for a breath. And then plant the hand, turning to that left long edge of your mat, coming into our Skandasana on the right side. So right heel should be in contact with the floor. I am now facing back. Let me switch it around here. And then we're gonna spider crawl, staying low to the ground, walking all the way over to that other side, pressing the left heel into the floor. And then walk it back all the way over to where we started, that right side. Keeping the chest up, heel anchored down. And then we turn to face the right, to the front of our mat. Step the foot back, downward facing dog. This time, lift the left leg nice and high, three-legged dog. Step that foot all the way through. Lower the back leg. Sit up nice and tall. Low lunge. Plant the right hand. Revolve, open to the left side of the mat. Maybe lift that right knee off the ground. Float the left hand down to the earth. Open up. Long side of the mat, Skandasana. If you really want to challenge, hands to heart center. Keep the spine nice and long. And then we're walking it over. Other side. Spider crawl, stay low. Other side, back to where we started, left side. Rotating towards the front of the mat, plant the hand, step the foot back, downward facing dog. One more side. Inhale, right leg floats up. Exhale, look forward to the front of the mat. Bend the leg, step through both palms, gently dropping the back heel or the back knee. Sit up nice and tall. Plant that left hand, open to the right ceiling, right sky, on the right side of the room. One deep breath cycle. Plant the right hand. Open to the long edge of your mat, Skandasana. Maybe pressing the palms to heart center. Walk it over to the left side. Keeping the chest up, back nice and straight. Walk the hands back over to the right side, pivoting towards the front of our mat. Plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Clawing through the fingertips. Inhale, sweep the left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, look forward, coming into our pigeon pose, half pigeon. So left knee to left wrist, left ankle to the right wrist. Look back to make sure that right leg is nice and straight, nice and long behind you. Sitting up nice and tall. This is another good place to have blocks or props, blankets, pillows, etc. available. Sit up, find length, and you can help yourself, assist yourself to relax so you have something supporting your hip. So just placing it on the back side of that, or the underside of that left hip. And then exhaling, walking it all the way forward. And then releasing onto maybe a prop, a pillow, a blanket, a block, just so you can bring the earth up to you a little bit more and totally release through the head, neck, and shoulders. Breathing deeply, connecting to that breath. Breathing space into any tightness we feel. One more deep inhale. Deep exhale comes back up to center. Just remove any props that you might be using. Plant the hands, tuck the back toes, lift the knee. We're just going to step back into our downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg up. Exhale, step that foot through, right knee to right wrist. Look back at that left leg. See that it's nice and straight and long. If you'd like to place a prop under that right hip for a little support, go for it. And then we're inhaling, finding length through the crown of the head. Exhale, folding forward. A few more deep breaths here. And when you're ready, removing any props that you may have used. Pressing your hands up. And we're just going to swivel over to that right hip, swinging the left leg around. So we're actually going to swing that right leg back around behind us. So now we're in this little mermaid position. Left leg in front, right leg behind, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to plant the left hand behind us and sweep that right arm around to the back. So reaching to the back diagonal corner of your mat. Holding here. And if you'd like to intensify the stretch, we're going to come down to the elbows. Hard for me to do with this belly, but we don't want to crush the baby. So I'll stay on one elbow. But if you can, try to come down to both elbows. This is also a good place. There you go, Barbie. Okay, we can use a prop. And you're ready, coming back up through center. This time we're going to swing the right leg on top of that left leg, so creating a fire log pose. Stacking the legs like fire logs. So in fire log pose, right knee over left foot, left ankle, or yeah, right ankle over left knee. Sit up nice and tall.
Noticing where you're feeling the deeper hip stretch here. And then exhale, leaning forward when you're ready. And feel free to use some props to bring the floor up a little higher. And when you're ready, release that fold. Come back up to seated. We're going to gently uncross the legs. This time sweeping the left leg, bending it behind us. Right leg stays bent in front of us. And we're going to plant that right hand to the back corner of our mat. Inhale, sweep it over. So this may be enough. You might be feeling a deep, deep stretch down that side body and the left quad. If you'd like a little bit more, come down to the elbow. You can still keep that left arm reaching up and over if that felt good. Or you can even twist it like we did on the other side, coming down to both elbows, maybe using a prop. But just finding what feels good for you. So finding your edge and finding where you want to really feel into that stretch. Shouldn't be comfortable, but it shouldn't be painful. So that is the edge. Finding that edge. It's going to make us better. It's going to make us a little more open, but we're still pushing ourselves, right? One more deep inhale. And on your next exhale, coming back up through center. Now we sweep our left leg back around, stacking our left leg on top of our right. Sitting up nice and tall, so feeling grounded through both sits bones here. Find length through the crown of the head. And then exhale, forward fold. Breathe deeply. Breathing space into the hip. When you're ready, sitting up nice and tall, removing any props you may have had, and then just coming in to a comfortable seat. So a lot of times when I sit cross-legged, I like to put something under my sits bones just to elevate a little bit and create a little more openness in the hip. So if that looks good to you, go ahead and try it. That could be a pillow or a blanket as well. Just kind of shifts your hips forward a little bit, so we're finding a little more alignment. Come to that comfortable seat and then just settle in, closing your eyes or softening your gaze. Letting your hands rest gently where they may. And coming into a space of gratefulness. Grateful for your body, That is able to support you all day long and do so many wonderful tasks without us even thinking about it. Grateful for your practice, that you've taken the time out of your day, this 45 minutes of self-care, of you time, to restore body and mind. Thankful for everyone who may be practicing with us right now. Let's take one deep cleansing breath in together. Deep inhale through the nostrils. Exhale, sigh it out. Just letting the benefits of our practice sink in. And knowing that you always have this power within you to create this peacefulness, to cultivate this centeredness, this groundingness. When you just come back to your breath. Bringing our hands to heart center. We'll bow in reverence to everyone practicing with us. The light and soul in me honors and respects the light and soul in each and every one of you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste. Thank you so much. I hope you feel a little more open, a little more centered, and I hope you carry this wonderful feeling that you've cultivated throughout the rest of your day, your evening, your week. Thank you guys so much. Namaste.